Hey everyone, welcome back to The Brand Show, Retro Blasting's favorite podcast. My name is Billy from The Brand Show and a bunch of nerds, your Generalissimo and the Larry Bird of action figure collecting. It is good to be back with each and every freaking one of you.
And my name is Chris, aka Papa Smallz, the best dad on the internet because I left for milking cigarettes and I came back.
Hey, let's get this right out of the way just to start the show. Today is a very special day. First and foremost, I have a couple birthday wishes I need to send out. First and foremost, because I know she's probably going to be watching this, to my favorite tattoo artist, to one of my dearest friends in the entire world, my favorite Swiftie, Meg McCauley. Happy birthday. Have a wonderful day. But let's move right on for Meg and talk about the actual birthday in the room. My favorite donut in the entire world. The only guy who actually can put up with me on a week-to-week basis without having a fucking conniption when I spend too much money or I make him spend money, to probably the best friend a guy could ask for. A guy who has seen me through hell and walked right by my side through it all, has cultivated an incredible story and an incredible company with me, who sat through 484 days waiting for me to get back to content creation so I could make stupid comments and him call me a fucking donut. I want to wish a very, very, very happy birthday to Chris Small. I'm not sure when Blonde Small's birthday is, but Small's, a very happy birthday to you.
1st of August, I think, but
Okay.
Also you're going to make me cry. Thank you.
I love you, man. Happy birthday.
Keep saying nice things. No,
well,
make him stop. Make him stop.
Listen, wait a minute. Because tonight we got something too. I imported something knowing you were going to Toy Fair with me. So for those of you who know, we just went to Toy Fair this past weekend, and I'm going to get to that a little later in the show. I imported your first prototype for you, so now you have a prototype for your very own collection. I got you a Ninja Turtle head straight from the factories of Super 7.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So something for your desk to remind you that you are a turtle.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's get right into the show. First and foremost, we got a couple people joining us tonight to start out the show because we have some very exciting news. First of all, producer of the show, executive vice president of a bunch of nerds, John Brown!
What's up?
Hi,
Hello,
John
everybody.
Brown. How are you?
Doing all right. Doing well. Can't complain.
Okay, my soundboard is not working as usual. My soundboard is actually not working tonight, so you guys are spared from my shitty
Thank God.
My camera also doesn't like to work, which is, you know, if something wasn't broken here, it wouldn't be a bunch of nerds.
You mean you don't have a $4,000 webcam setup?
No, I just have a Logitech Brio, man. I'm not you. I'm not, oh, look at me. I have an old camera. I'm Chris Small.
Why do you look like the Tin Man?
I had all this money and bought a $12,000 camera and $20,000 worth of equipment. No, I spent it all on
You
toys.
look like you're trying to do the impersonation of a porcupine seeing a pineapple for the first time on Family Guy.
What?
And if my cousin Rafe is in the chat, I know he is currently pissing himself laughing because he will understand that.
I have no words.
That is the one
need to
Family
phone
Guy
Stevie
reference you are ever going to get out of me.
If you're gonna make Family Guy references, we got to bring in Rhode Island's own Peter Griffin. But
Yeah, you got to
All-
phone Stevie O.
no,
That'll be the whole show. Just be one long.
it would be
Family Guy
it would be
reference.
one long family. Exactly. If Stevie was on the show again, and yeah, Stevie, I'm talking shit about you on the air. It would be a whole ass Steve making stupid references to Family Guy episode. But speaking of Stevie Oaks, Stevie Oaks' cousin is joining us tonight. I forget what podcast you're on because I'm stupid, but you're also wearing a CM Punk shirt, so you get no love from me, guys. This is FOMO Joe, and FOMO Joe is joining
That's
us
right.
for the beginning of the show tonight. Joe, introduce yourself.
Ah, the beautiful beard is now in your city. Hold on up. I didn't know everyone was doing monikers, so like, I don't know. I've got a few of them, but we'll come up with one in time. It's just good to be here. I'll take the humble road since everyone else doesn't seem to do the same. And let's just see where it goes.
Okay, guys, just so you know, if you don't subscribe to this channel, you better do so in the next 2 minutes and 50 seconds because there's an ad break going on. Somebody throw that in the chat because people are missing this, and that's not my fault. That's all Twitch. My camera tonight does not want to be good, but guys, tonight we're going to be joined once again by Joe St. Pierre. of Marvel Comics, IDW Comics, DC Comics, of Astronaut Inc. We're going to be finishing our interview with Joe. So first and foremost, I need to do some housekeeping and address our audience. But before I do that, to tell you, tonight's episode of The Brand Show is brought to you by our partners at Prep You Products, empowering young men to take control of their personal hygiene with ingredient-balanced natural products. And you can save 20% thanks to us using code ABON at prepyouproducts.com. Yes, that's prepyouproducts.com, and you can smell like oranges like I do. Anyway, so we have some things that need to be discussed tonight. I have some good news. I have some bad news. The bad news is that Smallz has left the chat and run away. I'm also going to take my hat off because it's really hot in here. I don't know what's going on in my basement. It's just been hot as balls down here the last few weeks.
That's probably what's steaming up your cameras.
No, it's if you knew anything about photography, yeah, it probably is. God damn you. Ugh.
Well, it was 85 today, Billy. I mean,
Well, yeah. Why is it 85 in the middle of October in Boston? That's just random.
yeah.
Okay, so anyway,
Really?
let's get right into this. There's some things that need to be discussed about the brand, and honestly, you know what? I just realized we're still in the middle of an ad break, so I'm gonna leave this for the folks that are suffering through another 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another minute of ad breaks before I do this. So we're just gonna hang out here, and then we'll just, ad breaks. I really hate these ad breaks on Twitch. I'm not even gonna lie. The proponent of moving to Kick for next season has been discussed. We all know you're not gonna come with us, so who knows? Anyway, but with that being said, there are 36 seconds left in this ad break, and I'm trying my hardest not to say anything because I really don't want people to miss this part. So if you're watching the replay on YouTube, first of all, thank you for watching. Second of all, I have a flying ant on one of my lights.
I'll probably just cut this part out, actually.
Nah, you don't have to. It's fine. The flying ant part was really funny, actually. That's the third one I've killed in the last 20 minutes.
Wait, hold on. You said flying
Keep it
ant?
raw.
Yeah, a little
Keep it
flying
raw.
ant. I have some pest control shit coming in this week for that. We've had a hell of a month here. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you were stuck watching on an ad break, you did not miss anything. Thanks for being here. Welcome back to the Brand Show. So we got some housekeeping that we need to discuss before we go into the show. And the first thing is that there's going to be some changes here at the Brand Show. The Brand Show has, like everyone else, suffered from this miserable bullshit that was the WGA strike. And by miserable bullshit, I'm not calling the WGA bullshit. This is a direct attack at every executive, every douchebag, every CEO, every asshole who makes too much money, every dick nuts who wasn't willing to give up $150,000, 2 days worth of work to help those who almost lost their homes, almost lost their families, worked 3 fucking jobs just so they can fulfill their dreams like we do. Like I'm in that same boat. You know, I work in IT and people think I'm a millionaire because of it. I'm really not. I'm just some dude trying to make my 8-year-old self proud. Point being, with the WGA strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike, we've decided that over the next few weeks, our next guest is going to be Mike Kingston on October 18th. And then from there that we are going to potentially cut our season a little shorter. Well, not shorter, but cut our season just to move things around, reschedule some of those guests that were scheduled for this season, and bring them into our winter lineup. This has been a very, very difficult thing for us as podcasters to do. With so many moving parts here at A Bunch of Nerds, it's discussed a lot of things and made me decide a lot of things that I need to do with my career here, which leads me into my next point that I'm going to be stepping down from full-time content creation at Unboxed, which is why these two assholes are here. I know if you're tuning in from TikTok, this might be a part you want to clip because we're going to have to put this on TikTok eventually. But Unboxed is about to go through a change. I've been teasing it for the last few weeks. Unboxed 2.0 is coming. And with Unboxed 2.0, there comes a lot of good change, a lot of exciting things, and I'm really excited to announce that Unboxed 2.0 is going to be launching this winter. Now, what that means to you as viewers, as fans, as followers, supporters, is that you're going to be getting more of Unboxed. You're going to be getting deep dives, figure reviews, unboxings, histories, reactions. And it's not just going to be me that you're seeing. You're also going to be seeing FOMO Joe and Mr. John Brown themselves as they join the active roster alongside myself with Unboxed. It's been very hard to keep this news private, to keep this news in my back pocket. And there is more news. And this one's really exciting. I'm sure you guys are psyched for this one. So should I tell them, or do one of you want to tell them?
Tell them.
You want me to tell them?
Do it.
All right. Joe's beard is not half as good as it looks. I'm kidding.
God dang.
There goes Joe. He's leaving.
More, and you know it.
It's not that pretty. It's kind of gray right here. You know,
I can't grow a beard. So
yeah, John, you look like, oh my God, camera! This is the worst day of my life, camera-wise. I think next episode, what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to hook up my A7 III right to my thing and just be like, with a 50mm lens.
I was thinking about doing the same thing with my camera too.
You know what? It's probably a good idea, but we're really excited to announce that we have a YouTube exclusive show coming sometime in 2024 called the Unboxed Cast. Now, the Unboxed Cast is going to be a monthly show, 90 minutes, no commercials, no nothing. It's going to air directly through YouTube, as I just said, and that show is going to be live. We haven't decided a night of the week yet, but here's what's coming, and this is what's cool about it. Once again, histories, deep dives, interviews with some of your favorite toy creators, etc. And I am very excited to announce that our first episode is going to be the history of Toys R Us. So yes. A massive deep dive coming from three guys who just love to fucking collect, love to really do what we do the best. I think Zero fell asleep, so he's probably not clipping this, so we'll have to do it later. But, you know, three guys who just love toys, and my camera, oh my God.
You want to throw it out the window?
I do. I really do. Three guys who just love creating and love what we do. We've decided to, you know, get together and do this. As you may or may not have noticed, John Brown has changed all of his social tags to John Brown Brand, which says a lot. So the Brand Show presents the Unboxed Cast coming very, very soon. And, well, that's really exciting.
Fuck yeah.
But that's not
super exciting.
That's not all. I have officially fired my camera. My camera will be hopefully changed by another one too. Oh my God, this is brutal tonight. I don't know where these flying ants are coming from. But anyway, my camera does not want to play ball tonight, so I apologize about that. So technical difficulties as usual. Last but not least, we have one more thing to announce that is very exciting. Discord movie nights are going to be coming sometime in 2024 as well. So stay tuned for more on that information, and let's dive right into weekly purchases. Smallz, being the professional he is on the phone. Oh, happy birthday. I love you so much. Ha, ha, ha. You know, way to take a phone call during a show, you ass. Anyway.
Probably an emergency. That was the only reason he would do that.
No, he's probably dying on the toilet, if you ask my honest opinion. He's probably just going, uh-oh, here he comes.
I got to use the phone, guys, real quick.
Wait, when he comes... God, my God. This is the worst show I've ever done. All right, let's start out with weekly purchases since Smallz is not here, and I'll have to just pantomime through his shit. Joe, why don't you lead us off?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask.
Fuck
All right,
you.
well, it's a small weekly purchase this week. Only a few things in the pile. But one thing you don't have, the Deadpool and Hydra Bob 2-pack.
Okay, I decided not to buy it because I already have like 6 Hasbro Pulse Hydras, and I have the Deadpool 80th anniversary right there with Hydra Bob's
Okay,
head.
you do have the 80th? Because I was going to give you the 80th for free. But
Wait, did you make a Hydra Bob?
No, this is the Hydra Bob. This is
no, I know, but you have the 80th with the scooter?
I have the 80th Deadpool. I don't have Hydra. I don't have any of the Hasbro Pulse Bobs.
Well, fuck
or the Hydra soldiers.
I have one of those, and I have the scooter there. I just haven't opened it yet.
Yeah. So I'll be honest with this. Like, I like the Renew Your Vows buck on Deadpool.
Yeah.
It's great. But the paint job is lackluster. I think the 80th is better. They really like cut corners on this one.
Honestly,
blue?
the best that the best one that they did is, if you ask my opinion, Deadpool wise, I'm having technical difficulties over here.
The movie?
No, not the movie one. The 80th anniversary that was a San Diego one a few years ago.
Yeah. Right.
It was my favorite. I had that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And
He's got like more of a metallic blue than a black.
yeah, he's the first appearance of Deadpool one.
Yeah, the Liefeld Deadpool.
Yeah,
Deadpool.
I love that one, and it's probably my favorite. I call it the New Mutants 98 one. That's my favorite.
That's what it is, though. It doesn't have the drip. This doesn't have the drip either, but you can see the blue swords, the katanas, because it comes with an homage to all the turtles for all the weapons. Like you got the nunchucks, you got like the different color weapons for the turtles.
Wait a minute. So what
I
you're
thought was
saying
nice.
is Rob Liefeld has taste?
Yes, but he can't draw feet.
I was
Look
gonna
at
say though.
Dude, guy draws.
He loves freaking pouches.
and Heroes Reborn, Captain America, just for the record.
Oh, he'll draw the fuck out of a titty chest. For
This is
Captain
not
America.
Captain America.
Worst anatomy ever. But
Oh, he almost
yeah,
did it again with Sam Wilson's Captain America. Did you
I
see
think
that?
he did that on purpose, though.
As a
Yeah, he did
as
that.
a joke,
He did
yeah.
that as an homage. He did that as an homage.
Yeah, he did it as an homage to his own shit. Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. I mean,
But-
if you can laugh at yourself, right?
Yeah, these guys are a good pickup. I think if you have the 80th one already, you can skip this dude. If you don't have any of these, it's worth picking up because the Hydra Bob is just really fucking fun. But if you have the Hasbro Pulse exclusives of these guys, then you can skip it like Billy did. So
Is
my
he-
pickup's
is he-
that great.
Is he on the
Pinless?
Val's body too, or is
Yeah,
he
He's on like
Vulcan body?
he's like pinless pizza Spider-Man. It's weird.
No,
very
he's
skinny, but
he looks like it looks like they use the Astonishing X Cyclops body.
for
Oh.
this,
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's not
The
as
one with the-
bulky.
really.
Yeah,
Okay.
very lengthy.
I haven't seen it.
I gotta see
I
that.
haven't seen it in person. Let's keep it moving though, because we got to get Joe St. Pierre.
So, okay, so
soon.
there's that. Then I got NECA Gargoyles, Armored Xanatos. I'm a big Gargoyles guy.
Very cool.
I'm in the middle of a move right now, so these are staying boxed. As a matter of fact, you don't call me FOMO Joe for nothing. I gotta change that name though. I got Elisa Mazza coming this week as well, so which is cool because even with the old Kenner figures, I never had an Elisa Mazza figure, so that's always been on my grail list. And then last but not least on this short week, boom,
Ooh.
Asta more.
Whoa! Heavy
Yeah, I got it.
hitters. You know, I gotta say though, I'm a little lackluster about that. Like I'm thinking about buying it, but like I've seen it's plastic.
It is. Stevie unboxed it. I'll send you the video of his short unbox. Like not
Is it
unboxing, but
is
he's
it just a
playing
video of
with it.
him
It's
going
fucking
like?
beautiful.
Is it just him going? It's morphin' time. Okay, good.
No, it's very candid. No, this thing looks phenomenal. Like, yeah, more phenomenal. No, it's vac metal, so it gives the appearance of metal.
Ah.
But yes, it is light plastic, but it's still worth it. This is going to my Draken display, so I'm all good with it.
Okay, so it's vac metal, kind of like the new Silverhawks. Okay, and that's all you got.
That's all I got for this week. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well,
Oh well, no, that's not true. I mean, I got the Deadpool. I mean, the Daredevil that was at your house, but that's about it. Yeah.
What?
yeah, he got the new Marvel Legends
The
Daredevil.
Oh,
And Mr. Perfect too, but he's boxed up at the new place. So
oh,
this is what I have with me to
Gotcha.
show.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Okay.
short week.
So let's dive right into this because right now it's a fucking mess of toys over here, and we're gonna start with a very very anticipated line. X-Men 97's in hand, baby!
Saw this at the Target.
Huh? What
I
about
actually
Target?
saw Bishop at Target today
Why didn't you buy it?
because I'm waiting until Friday.
Well, if you
Payday.
if you see two of them, let me know, because I have one on order through Amazon, and I'd rather not wait for it.
Which one, Magneto?
Okay.
No, I
Yeah,
have all
Friday.
of them on.
Check it.
I have them all. I have them all
Good shit.
on Amazon. But I got Rogue fully pinless. Very excited about that. Head
was
sculpt's a
cool.
little weird, but I'm gonna keep it how it is. This one also a little weird to me. It's
I don't like the
Storm.
storm.
But she's got a ponytail. I'm like, why has she got a ponytail with a mohawk? I mean,
Because I think they're going for that 80s, 90s Storm, but in white, it just looks weird. She needs like the punk rock look if she's
no,
gonna do that.
I have every Storm figure they've ever made. Storm is one of my favorite characters of all time. You can't tell me wrong. And then Gambit. Gambit with that
Yeah, he
wild
looks
hair, that crazy ass hair. Was watching a review from Toy Migos earlier about it. I think one thing that needs to change on this is that we actually need to have Joe mute because I can hear myself. Joe is going to have to buy a computer on top of everything else, so he's fucked. Anyway, as you can see, his jacket just kind of looks a little tight. I'm not okay with that. I don't want it to be tight. So I'm having a cloth jacket made for it, a soft goods wire jacket for it. But moving on, we got more. So PulseCon happened, as we know, and there was free shipping for everybody. So I finished the Spider-Man VHS pack. There is another flying ant. My God, this is really going to drive me insane tonight. So I picked these up too. Excuse me for 1 second. Another one, seriously. Like, I'm going to have to get the... I have... Anyway, so that'll be done. Tonight is really not a good night. But it's okay. There's more.
Wait, there's more.
Good Lord.
Oh,
Hi,
my.
sorry about that.
Okay, so just came in today. Legends 20, Greg the Hammer Valentine. Oh, God. Everything okay, Smalls?
Yeah, Domino's clearly has never trained this woman on how to read a GPS, because I just had to explain for 15 minutes that I live in the correct house that's on the address because I've lived here for 3 years.
Welcome to my life the last 10 years. I'm at your
I have
house.
ne-
No, you're not.
I
What do you
have
mean?
literally never had an issue before
Smalls.
with Domino's.
The people where I live, and I won't say my address online.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
But every time they go to the brick building across the street, and they're like, "I'm at your house, bro." No, you're not. So moving on, more of the Marvel Knights wave came in for me. Iron Man,
Very
Midnight
good.
Suns, and Daredevil, the pinless Daredevil. I'm a little unimpressed with the amount of hands, but I guess this is the trade-off we get for crying about fucking windowless packaging, you fucking donuts. Thanks for fucking up Marvel Legends.
I'm happy the
Whoa,
windows
whoa,
are
whoa.
back.
You need windowless packaging. I'll sacrifice a couple hands for windowless packaging. Come on.
For windowed packaging,
The
you mean?
windowed packaging?
For window packaging, yeah. You need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
you need to be able to see the paint apps. You can't be having bananas and fucking, like Suave 5, VO5 stuck in your Marvel Legends box. Like, no.
That's why I don't buy at Target.
Yeah, but
See-
that happened at Amazon too.
See, unlike most donuts here, I'll go to a local
Right.
toy shop like Nick's Comic Strip and buy my figures. Moving on, though, I did find both $1 Million Mans. Thankfully,
Nice.
no $1 Million Man gate this time. I got the Chase and the regular. No
So
$1
would
Million
that be the
Man gate.
$2 million man?
This is $2 Million Men right here. My camera is really
I quit.
fucked tonight. Are you seeing this? Like, between
some
that and the
focus
flying
now.
ants, I don't know what the fuck is going on. All right, moving on. Last but not least, and this one's going to piss a lot of people off because I know they're looking for this.
Nice.
Rock Target Ultimate Exclusive.
Weren't you just saying you don't shop at Target?
Well, yes, somebody picked this up
Yeah,
for
he
me,
totally did.
and the only time I go to Target, because they have those $1 Million
Except-
Men are from Target too. Target has two waves of figures that they only get, and they're WWE Legends. They're the Ultimate Legends, and they're the WWE Elite Legends. You can't get them anywhere else. I'm not paying somebody else's retail upcharge because they're like, I went to Target across the street, so you have to pay $94 for this. Fuck scalpers, no flip zone around here. So there's that. And then one more thing, and this was a gift from Joe. Thank you, Joe. This is the new Eternia Ram Man. I'm very excited about this. Can't wait to get this out of the package. It'll be coming up soon. I'll get that out of the
The
package.
names for Masters of the Universe always make me laugh.
Yeah, hand
They're
job.
just so like, there's like, and I know this is probably going to piss off Billy, but there is little creativity when it comes to the names.
I mean, dude, it was the 80s. Are you kidding
I
me?
know, but like Ram Man, like that's
Do-
a
do you-
boss,
you got,
that's
like,
a boss in
thinking
Mega
more.
Man 3.
Do you realize how in 1981 when they actually started this line that it was 4 marketing guys who were shit-faced at a bar.
I believe
Like for the record,
that's us basically.
Merman's original name was Seaman.
I love
Yeah,
that
that's
so
not
much.
a nightmare there.
Okay.
I love that so much.
Moving on, Smallz, weekly purchases. Since you're the only non-toy guy here, what do you got?
I know. I'm sorry. I was not expecting to have to direct traffic for Domino's pizza. So I had a whole bunch come in since last.
Dang.
Holy
I got a very sentimental record to myself. Take Off Your Pants and Jacket by Blink-182.
Nice.
I had to find one photo of these. And then thanks to the good people at Revolver Magazine, this came in last week, I think. It is Denzel Curry's entire discography on vinyl, unlimited, 500 pressings per album only. That's it. So we have Melt My Eyes, See My Future, 32 Zell, Unlocked, Taboo, Imperial, and Zoo.
Okay. Damn,
And then-
you've had a good time with some records lately, my man.
And then I also have one of my favorite metal bands. If you don't know Silosis, go look them up, please, for the love of God. Now that Josh has left Architects and is now in Silosis full time, you can really fucking tell. Sign of Things to Come by Silosis out of England. Please go listen to them. They are the next thing to headline festivals, I'm convinced.
Wow,
But
that's
they're
a.
from England?
I mean, and don't get me wrong. There are quite a few bands I have discovered because of you, just from like car rides and so forth like that. And I'm gonna have to check them out after this. But yeah, so all right, guys, we're gonna go to our first break. We're gonna say goodbye to Joe for now. You're gonna see him on the Unboxed Cast very soon. Joe, plug your podcast before you go.
Oh, well, there's 2 of them. You can catch it on YouTube at Smart Tank Revolution, where we always kick out at 2. Me and my host, the
everybody
benevolent,
kicks out at 2
intelligent
these
Donnie
days.
Wonderful. And then you can also catch me on YouTube too, with me and my friend Alex on Those Two Geeks. We have currently 240 episodes, I believe. So it's been going for a while. It's nowhere near as polished as this, so I'm very happy to be aboard. But you're looking for something to throw on the background, there we are.
Yeah, always game for a good podcast, guys. We're going to our first break. We will be right back. My camera still sucks, but we're back, and it's the Brand Show, guys. Welcome back to the show. All right, so last month we started a conversation with our good friend Joe St. Pierre, and Joe St. Pierre is back with us today. It's almost like you never left us, Joe. Good to see you.
It feels like yesterday, doesn't it?
It does.
Honestly, it really does.
It really
This
does.
month has been a whirlwind.
So we were talking about it at the top of the hour. We were talking about how the WGA and SAG strikes have really kind of thrown everything off. We've had 6 cancellations this season alone because of that, and we're now getting ready to start rebooking guests, and we're about to go to a hiatus after the next episode to do that. Like, it's so out of control, and I want to, again, tell Bob Iger to sit on the biggest fucking red dragon dildo you can find, you scummy fuck.
Don't give them any free press.
No, I'm not giving them free press. If Bob Iger sat on a fucking red dragon dildo, I'd be a very happy man, though.
No, I'm talking about giving Red Dragon any more press. They're already doing well enough as it
No,
is.
buy red dragon dildos, you sick fucks! They
Hold on,
deserve
that's
it.
an actual-
They deserve it.
It's an
That is an
act-
actual
Don't look it up,
thing.
John.
John, do not look it up.
I'm not
Do not.
typing anything.
Don't
I'm not
know.
typing.
I don't
John.
want
Rule
my,
34
my
exists because that
laptop
company
goes-
exists.
Yeah, let's not listen. My browser history is fucked. Don't let your browser history.
Your
be fucked.
browser history makes the Geneva Convention a Geneva suggestion. Moving on.
All right, let's get right back into it with Joe St. Pierre. So last time we were here, we were getting nice and deep into your time at Marvel and the beginnings of the new Zodiacs and so forth. We're going to dive more into the new Zodiacs because there's a lot to talk about, but and you know, we got to bitch about Marvel at some point tonight, and we'll do that. But let's wrap your time at Marvel and DC and everything, so we can get into that beautiful, beautiful, independently published and funded glory that it truly is. We're going to talk a lot about the new Zodiacs. I'm really excited about that.
Cool. Where do we start? Help me out.
Where
This-
were we last
You just
time?
painted a universe-sized picture.
John,
Narrow it down
John,
then.
you're the producer. You probably watched last episode before we got on the air. Where were we last time? Give me the
We
roundabout.
left off where Joe was talking about the initial creation of the Zodiac comic, the first character.
Oh, okay. So we got through Marvel.
We got through Marvel.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean we're done with Marvel tonight, because I do have a couple of questions about.
No, and we're gonna get to that because tonight,
Yeah. But I'm-
tonight is gonna be more discussionary than last time was good. Don't get me wrong, but there's gonna be more discussion about comic books in general. We wanted to give Joe an open platform to talk about the new Zodiacs, and that's where we're at. So
Yeah.
let's start there and continue, because man, we saw some beautiful art last time.
Yes.
We did.
Let's not argue about that. And
Because
pardon me
last
while I
time
get
it
some
was-
reading material.
Last time was fucking great. Was it not?
Oh, it was fucking great. It was the fucking greatest.
Where's
Yes.
my T-shirt? You
You know,
We actually are working on them. We do.
Listen.
Did we announce that yet?
No, well, that's
we have a
another
merch
thing.
store.
We have a merch
now.
store. Well, listen, if you want to collaborate on a T-shirt, and it's fucking great T-shirt, here's what we'll do. You pick the charity, and we'll donate 20% of the profits to that charity.
I like it.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm all about
Can
it.
can I be the charity?
I mean,
I could use some funds right now.
Right?
I got to publish a comic book pretty soon.
all right, how about this? It's fucking great. Anything we sell, I'll donate $1 to the Kickstarter.
Oh, thanks.
Everybody,
Appreciate
get ready to pre-order this
I'll
merch.
make $1. That's awesome.
Oh, no way. I'll buy like 20 of these things. You have no idea. All right, so let's get into the new Zodiacs. Lead us off.
Well, speaking of Marvel, it's kind of like, inspired by Marvel. Silver Age Marvel, there were about 13 regular titles. And so through the course of my life, not just my career, but my life, I've always been a creator. I've always had ideas. Some of those ideas kind of work well together. And so I decided to kind of pile them all, connect them to individual signs of the Zodiac, and create my own interactive universe, a la the Marvel Silver Age universe. So there were 13 regular titles in the Silver Age Marvel. And so there's 12 characters in the Zodiacs. And I could see, with an unlimited budget, I could see like 12 monthly titles plus maybe one team book. So there's your 13. So
you're saying a team book, and this really opens it up. If you're gonna take all 12 Zodiac signs, you're gonna make them a team. What are we calling this team? Who is this team's major villain? Where is this team based? Because now you got me thinking.
dude, I can't share that stuff yet. Let me roll them out first. Yeah, talk about jumping to the end.
This is me we're talking about. Listen, wasn't the old way, like when you're writing a comic book, to write the end first?
I guess they say you should have the idea of the ending of your story in mind. So what is the end story of the Marvel universe? I don't know. I mean, when I start individual chapters.
I mean, moral bankruptcy, which we're at right now. Disney owns them, so
Yeah.
they're just shoving bullshit properties up our ass.
Do you guys remember when when Disney bought Marvel and then Lucasfilm, and everyone's going, "Oh yeah, Star Wars and Marvel are getting
It was
fantastic."
Well, you get two of the most toxic fan bases in the world, and you put them together, and that's your crossover. But
Yes. Add
um,
water and stir.
let's talk about the next new Zodiacs book, because we started it. We started talking about this last episode. I mean, obviously, since we can't jump to the end of the story, I'll give you guys a quick fun fact. I have a book I started writing called Canton. It's the story of my life put into a horror comic book. I wrote the beginning of the story where I meet the girl. I wrote the part where I died by a car accident because said girl was going on Homeboy's knob, and then I wrote his death. I wrote his death, and then I wrote my ultimate demise at the end of the book. I had everything kind of laid out in between, but I had a publisher lined up and everything, and he ghosted me. So, and after going through 3 artists, literally not having the budget to hire someone, or like the correct budget to hire someone, I was like, okay, publisher was supposed to take care of this. He did. And I was like, okay, I need to table this. It's too much work for me to do with everything I'm doing. But I always hear that things like that are written, like Halloween. When John Carpenter wrote Halloween, the ultimate end of that movie was supposed to be Michael Myers getting shot 6 times in the chest. And he wrote that before he even decided on how the whole thing was supposed to rail out, from what I understand. But apparently that's not the case for everybody. So let's talk about this new Zodiacs and this next Zodiac symbol. Tell us all about it.
The next one after the Aquarius. The Aquarius came out last year. I'm currently working on the next one, which is
Aquarius is a good read too, guys.
Thank you. It was just Pisces. This is our Pisces. I don't know if you can see this.
That is, yeah, bring us to it. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Joe, have you ever drawn anything that is terrible? Because I highly doubt it.
Oh, yeah. Just tune in anytime. You get a live feed in my studio and knock yourself out.
I highly doubt there's anything crappy in that studio. I'd watch, though.
I'd watch. Put a T1 line in.
Yeah, literally. Put a T1 line in and just tell people, hey, come watch me write and watch me create.
Yeah, man. A lot of redrawing the last few months, actually. A lot of redrawing. But today was actually good, productive. I'm in a good mood. I got a penciled page completed today, and it looks good. So today's a good day.
Nice.
Lately, it's been challenging.
Right. And well, you're writing about zodiac symbols, which is something I'm not too familiar with, but Google is telling me about Aquarius, which is a Latin for water bearer. It is the 11th astrological sign in the zodiac symbols, originating from the constellation Aquarius under the tropical zodiac. The sun is the Aquarius sign between January 20th and February 18th. What can you tell us about what the Aquarius symbol will have for powers? And then I'm going to let these two talk.
I'm fascinated by the history of the signs as well. I don't see enough history of how the signs developed, from one culture to another. If you go to ancient Ireland, the Celts looked up into the sky, they saw the same constellations we saw, but they assigned trees to all of their constellations. You go to China, they assigned different animals to their constellations. They're all looking
years
at the
and so
stars.
forth. Yeah.
Yep. So me, I'm messing around with the idea. I read my Joseph Campbell. I've read a lot of mythology. Mythologies are often reflections of the cultures that assign the myths, right? You go outside in ancient times and you see a goat. You go outside in ancient times and you might see a lion out on the savannah. You go outside in ancient times and you see a ram, right outside your door because you're an agricultural society. You might see a woman carrying water, that kind of stuff. So you look up in the sky, you see these stars, you decide to assign pictures to them, and invariably they're going to be reflections of your experience. So it's like, hey, I saw a ram the other day. He knocked my kid over and killed them. So I'm going to assign this star cluster to a picture of a ram, because I fucking hate rams.
And that constellation.
Fuck rams. That could be a shirt too. Fuck rams. I don't know why.
No.
Fuck rams.
No, because someone, I don't know who's the Rams.
I'm an
rival in
Aries
football, but
personally,
someo's
so
gonna
it
pick
would
that
make
up.
me mad.
Man, the
I'm an Aries.
Rams can't catch a break, man. They are just Cooper Cup. Let's not talk football right now. Let's talk football later.
That's a whole other podcast.
That is a whole nother donut to eat right
Next.
Welcome to ADD Theater, where we go off
where
the-
everything's made up.
we
and the talking points don't matter.
there. We could do a whole ass podcast on that with you, Joe, and it would be funny.
Oh
It
my
would be
goodness.
great.
It would be amazing, but
So my Zodiac signs are redesigns for a modern era.
Hmm.
You know, the Aquarius symbol was originally the water bearer, someone who carries water. Water is life in ancient times. If you don't have enough water, your crops die, you die, etc. Today, it's what you know or don't know that can kill you. So I reassigned the Aquarius symbol to a hacker. He's a teenage, the elitist hacker on Earth. He steals information
ooh,
and data from the info rich and gives to the info poor. So he's
Nice.
kind of like a hacktivist, but he's got a
He's
little
digital Robin Hood.
yeah, exactly. So he's got
Yeah.
Peter Parker sprinkled in there with some Captain America. He wears a liquid metal second skin, kind of like the T-1000
Yeah.
Silver Surfer, that allows him to access the web psychically.
That's very
So
cool.
reinventing the Aquarius sign for a modern era, because when you go outside, you don't really see people carrying water anymore.
No, not very
Right?
much.
No. Well, I mean,
no.
it's 2023. Everybody complains of everything you see nowadays is people going like this,
Yeah.
and and people complaining about everything. It is.
Yes.
Yeah, we do live in a truly digital society. That is a thing. You know, political correctness is a big topic right now, and being respectful of everybody is. Well, you should be good to everybody anyway, unless they're a Nazi. Then fuck them. On the dick, you have my permission. But this is really fascinating because what you're saying also leans into an amazing concept for a video game that Ubisoft had a few years ago called Watch Dogs.
Oh yeah, it was good.
And
I need to go back and replay those
yeah, definitely a replay right there. Now that I said that,
Basically, it was
but it was John. Go ahead.
no, he was a hacktivist.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
The
Dog
second
was-
one he was. The first one he was just he was
two
just
different
pissed
guys.
off and smart.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
but what was
Yeah.
cool about it is let's just say you're walking down the street and you walk by him. A little thing came up off his phone and it'll say Joe St. Pierre, former artist for Marvel, former this.
Yep.
It'll tell him how much you make, and then there'll
That
be some
was
random
one of the
fact about you.
coolest aspects about that, because you could go in and make that person's life or completely destroy them on a whim as a non-existent side quest just to be a
Jackass.
benevolent god on the street.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a cool
I think my favorite one was in 2 when you're walking down the San Francisco Pier. This is Mandy. She's an unemployed stripper with herpes. That was my favorite.
Oof.
Sounds like my ex, actually.
Hey,
Jesus. Again, wrong website. That's going to be on
Wow.
onlyhams.com.
I have a question about Aquarius. Is he a technopath or is he just like really good at computers? That
what's
has
a
technology.
technopath?
Yeah, John,
Oh,
explain.
Like so there's one character gosh, who I'm blanking right now and I'm mad at myself. Okay, one of them was there was a kid on the show Heroes. You remember that show? That
I remember it. I never saw it.
well, there was a little kid. Basically, he was able to control computers like Professor Xavier controls people.
Oh no, he's not a technopath.
Okay.
So wait, he doesn't
So-
he doesn't have a Cerebro to like illegally steal like the 10 cents that are in my bank account right now?
So he
Killer
uses
chicken catch up.
technology to
Yes.
to okay.
Yeah,
that's
he
cool.
has
fucking with you.
enhanced skills, enhanced hacking skills, but I wouldn't say he controls computers.
Okay, that's cool. That's still cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
But your idea is
still
cool
dig
too.
it.
I like that.
I like the idea of a character that is set in such a modern time, and you know, and we're gonna get to this because obviously you're gonna be back when there's more signs to be done. There's 10 more. You know, I think what's really interesting about this is that this is a really modern take on a very classical thing that is massively cultural. And, you know, in a society that is leaning on the idea of being politically correct, which is not a bad thing. Like you can be funny and be politically correct. You can be respectful of all people and still make jokes. Like that's not a thing.
Right.
It's about how you approach a situation, but you're bringing something to the table that right now is also a huge issue. Information security is massive.
Mhm.
I work in information security during the day, so
Mhm.
you know it's really interesting to see how that is playing out now in the comic book world. But and this is our transition point, because this is where we get to go off and talk about what's wrong with comic books, because we have 40 minutes of you to discuss this with. This is beautiful. You're bringing a modern formula to the table, which no other comic book company is honestly doing. Like let's be real. Let's talk about and we'll dive into the big three. Spawn, Image, and Spawn are still where they were, but the cool thing about Image is, and then if I'm not mistaken, Todd recently did a thing where Spawn killed the Ku Klux Klan, which was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it was fucking fantastic.
What?
Yeah, Spawn is held without sleep for 8 days. He's walking around in the woods. He comes into a village, and literally like everybody is burned and beat up, and you know the Ku Klux Klan is trying to take over, and Spawn just goes ham on the Grand Wizard and everybody else in between. It was fucking amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He
Listen-
got out of his alley. When I
Yeah.
read Spawn, he lived in an alley for
Yeah, and
80 issues.
Spawn has been one of the most and I think another flying ant. I have to deal with that tonight. One thing that's been really impressive about Spawn and what Todd McFarlane has done. I mean, I love Todd. He is one of my favorite people in the whole world. Just saw him this past weekend. I love him to pieces. Every time I see him, he always stops and says hello. Just an absolute sweetheart of a human being. But one thing that's really impressive about Spawn is it's set a precedent for independent comic books, which is really important.
Rebecca.
Joe is saying hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
Sorry,
Thank
I'm bringing
you.
him dinner.
I appreciate you. Thank you. I love you.
Hi,
Anyway,
Nicholas.
but
I always wondered what you guys did with your podcast hours. When did you eat? Now I know.
I didn't have a chance to eat before
Wow.
the show because I literally just got out of work right before it. I ended up staying late today. But
Okay.
anyway, the impressive thing about what Todd McFarlane has done with Spawn is that he's taken a series and spanned 30 years, 300 plus issues, the longest running independent comic book of all time. And he's made the creatorscape different for independent creators. I think that's one of the most impressive things about Spawn, so I can't really shit on Spawn. But let's walk right into Marvel and talk about what's wrong there. I mean,
With
you're
me?
you're the expert.
You know, I haven't read many Marvel comics lately. Sorry to say. So maybe you can address something.
Okay.
One of my biggest things is you have like
Go ahead, John.
60-year-old. You have 60-year-old characters. See 60-year-old characters that get revamped over and over again.
Yeah.
And like for instance, Peter Parker, the dude cannot win, and they don't want him to win, and he will never win. And that's
but
something
they
that
bring
I've
in
seen a lot of
Miles
people-
Morales,
Right,
and
Right.
Miles catches a break for 10 seconds,
right.
and then he goes through the same. It's the same formula. It's the same
Yeah.
archaic formula with him.
That's what I was getting at. Is
And
that
it's problematic.
It is, because when are we going to see our good guys make good? We will never see that. Like they get maybe 2 issues of normalcy of any bit. And I know that's what makes a good story is struggle and all that stuff, right? But how many times is MJ and Peter Parker going to split? You know?
Yeah.
It's
How
like-
many times can you take the Venom symbiote off Eddie Brock?
Right.
How many times can you? And I before I say this, I want you to understand that I'm not saying this out of frustration or anger. I'm saying this out of question. How many times can you change a character's identity, like their sexual identity, their personal identity, without having past story? Like they did this to Bobby Drake, Uncanny X-Men issue 44 and like volume 3. They made him gay.
Mhm.
Bobby Drake was a notorious womanizer for years. How do you explain that? How do you explain? Like
They
there was no
retconned it.
explanation to it. They retconned it.
They
And
retconned it.
I'm
Yeah.
not against anything happening with my characters. I don't care if they're gay, straight, trans, upside down, pink and purple. I don't care. The only thing I care is that Brie Larson is no longer Captain Marvel because she has just the most aggravating voice I have ever heard in my life, and the way she treats her coworkers is sickening. But beyond that, just to get into this a little
Other than
more,
that,
other than that, like I'm a really big fan of Carol Danvers in the comic books. My favorite character right now, and a lot of people are going to scratch their head when I say this, is Kamala Khan. I think the Death of Kamala Khan story that they're doing right now is really interesting. I just started it last night. Bought myself an annual subscription to Marvel Unlimited for my iPad. You know, going back and just rereading stuff, looking at old art, looking at stuff you worked on, Tom Lyle worked on, just people that I love and I've been lucky enough in 41 years of life to become friends with. But the thing that's wrong with Marvel right now is we're using the same archaic formula and we're not developing characters. Like Ben Reilly, okay, a character that you are very versed in, a character that you had a big piece of in that massive storyline, Planet of the Symbiotes.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Reilly's on to another suit. He's now Chasm.
Yeah, he's Chasm now.
I
Holy shit.
don't
Poor
understand.
Ben Riley.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I was gonna
understand
say,
why you
dude.
keep
Like,
retconning the character, but same thing. You're letting Rob Liefeld, who I can't stand, create too. Like he ripped off another character in Major X. Like he literally retconned Deadpool into something else. What else is going on right now that really isn't great? I think the most interesting thing Marvel did, and this one's going to shock you, is this year's Hellfire Gala. Iron Man and Emma Frost got married.
Yeah, that's kind of you know, I gotta say, I saw a post on that somewhere, and I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's interesting?
I think that's odd.
I like it though,
It throws me off.
because if we're going deep and we're going back into the Silver Age, Tony Stark had his battles with alcoholism. Tony Stark had his battles with identity. Tony Stark had his battles with womanizing. Tony Stark had his battles with losing his money and came back from all of it. And then we got Tony Stark trying to create something to help humanity, and he ruined humanity with extremists. I think the idea here is that he might be the only character getting development in the last 20, 30 years. Mary Jane died in Reign, if you guys remember. She died of breast cancer, a word that I'm not very comfortable saying, or a topic that I'm not very comfortable talking about. Reason for that being, obviously,
Right.
you know, that's, I get bringing a real life aspect into things, but where's the line? Like, how do you develop a character? Like, pick any character in the Marvel universe right now. I will give you an idea of what's going. Well, Daredevil's also had progression. Daredevil has just never had a bad story, though. Daredevil has had the greatest minds in the universe. Unfortunately, you never penciled him, which makes me very sad. But Daredevil has had great character progression. Amazing character progression. Pick one character. I know you're a big Spider-Man fan, so I don't want to say Spider-Man, because that's just too easy. Pick one character in the Marvel universe, and I will give you what's going on with them, and then we will see how we can progress that character.
I'd like to get one thing out of my brain, because it's sitting in the front of my skull, and I'd like to share this and get out, and then we can move on.
Do it.
I'm considerably older than you guys. I would
Not
say
me,
that
but
I would say that the first 125 issues of Amazing Spider-Man are all you need for Amazing Spider-Man content.
I agree with that statement.
I'm willing to bet that you guys weren't even born when issue 125 came out, which was somewhere around 1974.
I was born in
I
77.
wasn't even a thought.
I
in
was
the
82.
universe.
Yeah, I was 82. So
I was born in 77.
So let's just say that Amazing Spider-Man stopped in 1974. Where would you guys be without Spider-Man?
I mean, tough to say, because I grew up with I grew up with that 90s era where stories were huge. Carnage was created, Venom was created, Black Suit came in. We were graced with Secret Wars. But for me, honestly, Spider-Man kind of ended after the Clone Saga.
In the 90s.
Yeah, I was a huge fan. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've loved the new stuff. I loved Nick Spencer's run is one of my favorite runs in comics. Like, I like Dan Slott, but he's a little too politically woke for me when he writes. Like, he gets a little too political in his stuff, and that's fine. When I read a comic book, I want to escape hearing all that nonsense that I have to turn on the TV and see, and all that negativity. I think one of the most poignant stories in the last 10 years that we've seen, and you should read this, is Hunted. So
That's Spider-Man storyline.
Arcade and Craven get together and create a dome around Central Park. Okay. And this is because Craven feels he's lost his way. Okay. So Craven decides he's going to go into business with Arcade and creates a corporation that literally rounds up every supervillain in New York. And it's done by Taskmaster and Black Ant. So that tells you how good it gets, because we're taking 2 C+ villains, also a George Perez creation, and Taskmaster. Fantastic.
You had me sold on building a dome over Central Park, and it's called The Hunted, because I immediately thought of just Marvel's version of the Hunger Games.
Definitely read it. It's I'll give you the issue numbers, but anyway, it goes across multiple issues. You see Vulture become a leader in it, and you see a bunch of rich D-bags lose all their money and pilot these robots trying to kill them. It's excuse me, billed as a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And then Craven's son, well, Craven dies at the end of it. You know how it is in comic books. It's retconned.
Right.
But Craven dies in the end because and this is a beautiful callback to Mike Zeck's Craven storyline, Craven's Last Hunt. He puts on the black suit and his son kills him. Like that's not even the biggest spoiler in the whole thing. There's just so much within this, and I love Nick Spencer. When all the Woken warriors were crying about Captain America being a Hydra agent, being the guy married to a Jewish girl, I was like, that's interesting. Captain America being the face of evil, uttering the words "Hail Hydra" was the most shocking thing of 2017, and it was great. It was great.
That was Nick Spencer. Right?
Yeah. But Nick Spencer has the balls to take like a risk like that, and it pays off every time. So his run of Spider-Man, you read it, it picks up where Superior left off. If you read Superior, it's a great pullover from Superior. I'm on like issue 26 right now, reading it again, just getting back into it. Harry Osborn, I forget who Harry Osborn becomes after the Goblin. He's I forget his name. It's like,
is that the Gold Goblin?
no, it's not. He's
Hobgoblin?
he's not even a goblin. He's I gotta look it up now.
He's a gremlin.
No. Hold on. I'll tell you his name in a second. I forget it, but he drove Mysterio mad in Ravencroft and everything, and it was really cool.
Yeah, that shows you how far behind I am. I got to catch up on.
But
something.
he was I forget who he was. I forget how many villains has Harry Osborn been. Here we go. He's been a lot of people, but he was. Oh man. It's something. It's on the tip of my tongue, but he literally has giant centipedes on him and everything, and he invades dreams and stuff. It's
Really?
gnarly. It's gnarly. I haven't gotten to the part where he says his name yet, but they leave you for 20 some odd issues wondering his name. And it's just wild. How Spider-Man ends up in the black suit, no idea. Wild. But there's a lot to it. So yeah, that's where it came back for me. But okay, let's take, I don't know, pick a random character. Someone you love.
Can we pick Daredevil? Because I would say Daredevil's been recycled. We have a disagreement there. Daredevil had the same storylines for the last 30 or 40 years. And not in a bad way. It's just that there are certain storylines or certain recurring themes that pop up with that identify Daredevil as a character.
The good versus evil, heaven versus hell.
Recycling those same ideas.
Right.
The Hand, Elektra, the Kingpin,
His Catholicness.
His Catholicism,
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen,
Yes. Yeah. There's beats that every character has.
I agree.
Every
Whenever a
character
writer
has, yes,
But we
When a
finally
writer
got
picks it up.
Daredevil leading the fist.
yes,
Yeah.
And we finally got Elektra as Daredevil.
right.
Daredevil
But that
finally
first
went to
Hand-
jail.
That first Hand storyline was 1979.
Yeah, when he wore the black suit originally and everything, and the black and red.
No.
Oh no! You're going way back. You're
Before the Ninja Turtles.
Roy Thomas.
the
Roy
original Hand
Thomas.
storyline
Yes.
was the inspiration for the Ninja Turtles.
One of the you're talking about That's Roy Thomas. That's when Roy Thomas did a quick run and then it
No,
changed.
Frank
No?
Miller's run. No, Frank Miller's run. From,
What issue?
Roughly 158 to 1.
Oh, right after Death and then right before Elektra.
No, during Elektra.
She was
That
168.
he-
If it started
yeah,
at one, if it
he-
started at 165, that's right before
150
Elektra.
158 to 191 is what I'm talking about. Frank
Oh.
Miller's on Daredevil.
Okay, so Bullseye, Daredevil, Death
And
of
they've been-
Elektra, etc.
And they've been recycling those ideas ever since.
I think that because they had the success. Frank
Yeah.
Miller's Daredevil
It's
was
it's
a
the best
huge
run.
success. Yeah, and so when they find that success, and this is a complaint that Marvel gets a lot, when they find a success, they beat it like a dead horse. They just run it
Sure.
into the ground.
Harry Osborn
And-
was Kindred. Kindred. There it is.
Kindred.
Okay. I got to look up this stuff. Very
Okay.
interesting.
But yeah, very, very recycled. I clearly haven't read Miller's run in a long time. I'm a little brain dead. I'm getting ready to
You
go
should.
back. Well, I just got the Marvel Masterpieces, the volumes, and I'm ready to go back and read Daredevil's origin, see his second appearance, everything, see the old red and yellow with Wally Wood and Stan Lee.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time. The old chemo brain just everything went out the brain. But I agree.
My point is that what to one person, like maybe you or me,
Mhm.
it's something that's hackneyed and revisited and old. To another generation, this could be completely fresh.
Yeah.
You know, and there are spins. Even Miller comes on Daredevil back in 1979, and we're already 150 plus issues into Daredevil,
Mhm.
and he adds stuff to the history that had never been seen before.
Agreed.
And that's kind of what I look at. That's kind of what I look for in my franchise heroes. Is like, are you adding something new and or fresh to the franchise that doesn't interfere with the history but enhances it?
So if I
that,
told you
that I don't see a lot.
if I told you that Daredevil became God's warrior for a few issues, he had a white suit and he ripped his eyes out, how would you feel?
He tore his eyes out.
He dead serious tore his eyes out in Zdarsky's
Okay.
run.
That's kind of new.
So there's another guy. There's another guy that I love in Chip
But a little
Zdarsky.
gruesome.
Yeah.
He's made Daredevil a masochist. He's made Daredevil violent, and now that the fist against the hand, Punisher's running the hand. You know, I'm cool with it. Like there's not much you can do with a guy like Punisher. You know, since we're talking about this, you know, you're right. You know, one generation may find it awesome, one may find it sucks.
Mhm.
I find most things suck except for Daredevil.
So
There's not been one Daredevil storyline I didn't like.
There you go.
Go, John.
well, I was going to say that you make a good point. The reason that they do, you know, have those character beats that they redo, and it just came, you know, every generation deserves to have that same feeling of the character going through those struggles and overcoming them. And so for us that have read several generations of comic books, we don't think about a first time reader looking at that book and going, holy cow, I can't believe he survived all of this. I can't believe he overcame that. And we're sitting there going, yeah, this is like his 18th time doing it.
That's kind of to jump
Yeah,
in because I actually have a
literally
valid
stuffed
point
my
I can
foot
say
in my
here.
mouth on that one.
Is like I feel like when this topic was brought up originally, it seems like every superhero or franchise or however you want to spin it, it's always in a constant state of reintroducing it to a new generation without actually finishing the storyline that it started back in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we're just stuck on the treadmill and it's just not going anywhere.
You know,
if you did,
And now we've got the MCU, we've got the cinematic universes, which are more popular than the comic books, you know, than 80 years
unfortunately,
of comic book history.
I said what I said.
So there's, and then we've got the video games. You guys, we just kind of scratched the surface of video games.
Yep.
Chris, I think you said your first exposure to Spider-Man was through a video game. Was it? Did I remember that?
No, that was just like my favorite iteration of it. My first
Right.
exposure to Spider-Man was technically I think it was the 90s animated series, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. The first time I really like took in like what was going on was the Sam Raimi movies. back in
Okay.
2001, 2002.
And that
And then it's been different versions, but not really. It's the whole like multi-universe comic series come to life kind of thing. But there's never really any, like John was saying, there's no real progression. It's just a retelling or a retconning of itself to put it for a new generation.
Yeah.
Be it with
Yes.
directors of a movie, or it's been 15 years since Spawn has done anything, or Daredevil, or Hulk is just perpetually stuck in not being able to find himself,
I mean,
or
Hulk is
Scarlet
immortal.
Witch is buried somewhere in Russia and then is in a half-assed movie.
Yeah.
we never getting off of the treadmill here. We're just a
I-
hamster on the wheel
I
trying to
will
make it work.
say, Immortal Hulk was a really interesting storyline. Dead Hulk was kind of cool.
I need to go back and reread World Breaker Hulk. That was always my favorite version.
You
of Hulk.
have my Marvel Unlimited account, man. Go
I
ahead.
know. I believe me. I know. I just have to find my iPad.
But I think you know what, I put my foot in my mouth on this one because I picked the wrong world to talk about. I think honestly, if we're talking progression, characters that have had a true progression, and this is going to sound hella biased, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the only one. Last Ronin is a perfect example of that. 100 years after the death, like Michelangelo is almost 100 in those episodes, in those issues. I just read them recently, and let me tell you, I was fucking moved.
Yeah.
They were just, you could feel Eastman and Laird coming through the page. And it was just like, fuck, I feel like I'm 12 again. And I think that has been one of the best stories. Now they've all died in the book, and now there's Casey Jones. It's not Casey, it's Casey Marie Jones, April and Casey's daughter, and they're raising 4 new turtles.
See, now I couldn't finish Last Ronin. I put it down.
really? Why?
Yeah.
Really, don't break your chair.
For me, it was derivative of Dark Knight Returns. It was the same story. And I was like, and I could even pull shots. I was like, okay, this came from this issue. And you know what I mean? So for me, it was like,
No, I got it.
And the first thing I want to say is, I'm not discounting anybody's opinion. I have no connection to the Ninja Turtles at all. I didn't grow up with them. I wasn't exposed to them in comics. I didn't watch the cartoons. I was in college when the cartoons were rolling out and the toys were rolling out. So I have no investment in the Turtles. So when I come,
Joe, I loved you.
when I come to the Last Ronin, and I'm like,
I've seen this before.
but I see, my Ninja Turtles is Spider-Man. And so whenever anything Spider-Man kicks in, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's a scene where Gwen dies in the second one. And that movie was universally trashed, right? But that scene where Gwen dies, I was there when Gwen died. And I was like extremely moved by that scene.
That was gnarly.
Other people are like, it only did $200 million. It's like
only 200 mil.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, that was
if my movie made half
spot
that,
on.
I'd be happy.
Yeah.
that
My
was spot
point
on.
is I was emotionally connected because I grew up with Spider-Man and with the death of Gwen Stacy. So again, it's all about where you're coming in and what you're coming in with and the emotional investment you have in the characters.
Right.
Yeah, I could.
I find this fascinating.
Yeah,
same.
I'm
the only person I know who has not been able to make it through the Last Ronin without going fucking bananas about how fantastic. I mean, the sales seem to dictate how great it is. I'm sure the movie of it's any minute now.
A video game got announced already.
I'm sure.
I didn't know anything about Last Ronin until Billy explained it to me. Because when I heard Ronin, I was like, oh wait, they're bringing in like Hawkeye from the Avengers into the Turtles. What is happening here? Because I had no clue. I was
well. First of all, Ronin was
I had no idea.
Ronin was a Frank Miller story before it was.
Yes.
I lost my case. I don't know these things.
Here's the thing.
Compare the first issue cover of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to the first
issue of Ronin.
Cover of Ronin.
Yeah, it's very similar. I agree. I 100.
You can
it's
see AI style inspiration.
You can see where Eastman and Laird took a lot from Kirby, Miller, and Stan, and you can see that. But here's the thing:
yeah.
like I
And
can
the X-Men.
and yep, and I can see what you're saying with Dark Knight Returns. I agree. I mean the story premise alone, you know, old man Michelangelo, end of story.
Yeah.
I think the thing about and I am a Dark Knight Returns stan.
Dark Knight Returns. All of his compatriots
Yeah.
are dead.
I will fight
Dead
everybody.
or converted to evil.
It is the
So
best
is
Batman
the
story
last
ever.
Guy, Batman is the last.
Well, yeah, think
hero
about the movies.
on
That
Earth
you
in-
live,
in Dark
and
Knight
I think this was said in the comic books. You die a hero, or you live long enough to become the villain.
Villain. Yep.
That came from Frank Miller's mouth.
Oh
And
yeah, did it?
It did. I believe it did, if I'm not mistaken. But that's one of my favorite comic books. But at the same time, I also find it really drawn out. Like all the news coverage in there, like the splash pages of news coverage. I'm just like, come on. I don't need 12 pages of this to start every issue. Like,
You know,
it's overdrawn
previously
and
in
pedantic
Batman.
at times.
You know, that was one of the things that I appreciated about that because it reminded me of RoboCop. Because I read it later on after it came out for a while, and then I had seen RoboCop, and then sorry, my camera-
Predates.
something happened to my camera.
Doesn't it?
Did your camera
Yes,
break
it
too?
does.
We're having camera issues, all of us tonight.
It looks
apparently.
like it's happening, yeah, worldwide. Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I saw
MAI.
RoboCop and then read The Dark Knight Returns after that. So as I read in the book, I was like, hey, that's like RoboCop because I loved RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually,
mean,
what was? Don't do your thing. Mine is.
no,
mine's
go
just a
ahead.
joke.
Go ahead, Smalls. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was just say on our way to Toy Fair, not that we're discussing Toy Fair, but in the 6-hour drive to get out there in the rain, I came across a meme on some cesspool of a social media website. And it said, God damn it.
Cue the Smalls cam.
I've been here. That's not cueing anything. But it said that the Crow is just gothic RoboCop.
What? I
To
will
which
fight
Billy,
him.
to which Billy almost pulled over the car and agreed with me.
What?
The Crow is gothic RoboCop. Changed my fucking mind.
I will change your mind right now.
Listen, to me, the Crow is an angry dude who went into Hot Topic because his girlfriend didn't give him butt sex. Like,
Dude, have you read The Crows?
I did. I didn't like it. I read it years and years and years ago, and I was just like,
That's
wow,
one of
this
my
feels
favorites.
like Batman if he got laid and the
Wow.
girl didn't call him back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
So
just
if he turned into Drake,
My connection with the Crow is classic
Go ahead, Joe.
revenge.
Yeah.
movies. So High Crow for
my bad
Plains Drifter.
Oh, the
You've seen
Drifter.
the movie High Plains Drifter?
yeah, great movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're comparing The Crow to that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I can see that. I always
Yes.
thought it was, yeah, you know, you
Killed
come
by
back.
townspeople, comes
Yep.
back for revenge.
Yep. I can see that
Classic
now.
story.
Sounds
I've only
like
ever
a
seen The
sounds like a
Crow
lot.
once, and it was for the
But
soundtrack.
again, reinvented for modern era with the
Right.
Gothic culture kind of sprinkled on top for
Mhm.
cult. It becomes something completely different to other people.
Yeah.
And
So,
That's
Going-
cool.
going back
It is
to putting my foot in my mouth with this topic.
Regular topic for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hang on. Let me learn how to stretch, and then I'll put my foot in my mouth. If I had to, let me rephrase this original thing because we only got 12 minutes left with Joe before we do our Toy Fair recap.
I want to hear about the toy fair.
If you want to hang out for Toy Fair and hear it, I mean, there's
Okay.
first of all, there's a vlog coming. Like Smalls and I have like
Oh,
2
okay.
hours of footage,
Okay.
and that's where
You
this.
have like 9 hours of footage. You
Oh
didn't put
my
your
God.
phone down the entire
No,
time.
well, that's my job. I mean, when I'm there, but you have to cue the Smalls cam. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Why are you using like download free edgy font now?
Because
1990s
because-
call. They want their
because
fonts
I
back.
can't afford
1980s
CapCut.
high school horror film
Listen,
project
if-
called.
if-
They want
if
their
you
font
wa-
back.
Listen, if you want to pay for CapCut for the year, be my guest.
I'm not. No.
All right, so we're both being cheap together, is what you're saying.
Freefont.com.
The
What?
font. The font.
Freefont.com. or
This isn't on
defont.com.
freefont.com. It's in fucking CapCut.
I
Anyway,
rest my
enough of
case.
this. We got Joe for 11 minutes.
Okay, Joe. Sorry.
You guys are a blast.
Oh, we're always a bunch of shitheads. You know this. And my camera just doesn't want to work today correctly. Anyway, so
mine
if you
either.
were to rewrite current history with Marvel with something original, let's just go there. Where would you put Spider-Man, since Spider-Man is your favorite character? Like, what would you change about current Spider-Man that hasn't already been done? Like, what is something like that hasn't been done? Would you make Spider-Man Captain Marvel? I don't know.
Yeah, he's one of those characters that he's done so much, and he's been in so many different storylines that it's hard to come up with something original. And that's a result of 60 years of 1 to 8 titles a month, right? You just how
27.
how can any how can you possibly stay on one theme for 60, for 2000 issues of a book? But I can tell you the beats of a Spider-Man story that work for me. Invariably, they include Spidey out of costume. First of all, it's Peter Parker and his issues with his supporting cast, whatever that may be, romance, ailing health of a relative, or a supporting cast member under stress. Outstanding rogues gallery, worthy of development. And he's usually given the choice between one shitty choice and another shitty choice. And so he makes the best of what he can under the circumstances, sacrifices himself in the process. And those are like the beats that I look for in a good Spider-Man story. And I'd say just about any Spider-Man story that I love hits all those beats. So that's where I would go if Marvel were to come to me today and say, Joe, we want you to write and draw Spider-Man. That's where I'd start, and then I'd have to probably do 2 or 3 years worth of research to see what he's been up to. I personally like the idea of him being a brilliant scientist and eventually on par with someone like Reed Richards,
Yeah.
Tony Stark. There was a Dan Slott storyline where he became like a Tony Stark, right?
Superior
Parker
Spider-Man.
Industries.
He invented this kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, the Parker Industries.
Yeah, but it was Doc Ock who did it.
Correct.
No, that's a different storyline. Superior is Doc Ock possessing.
Yeah, Superior is where Parker Industries started, though. He went to work for Future Foundation. From Future Foundation, he broke off and did his own thing because he was fired.
As Doc Ock?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember.
Doc Ock started. Doc Ock fucked everything up. Broke up with his girl. Broke up with Mary Jane. Called her like a wench. A few other things. Nobody realized it wasn't Peter. And then he got his brain back at the beginning of.
But even those, I know I've read those, but even those stories with Ock in charge of Peter Parker's body hit those beats that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Octavius had a supporting cast that he developed with him. He developed people he cared about. Those people were under stress. He had to solve the problem to get those people out of stress. And he did it in the way that Otto Octavius would do it, which kind of helps you when Peter Parker is not present. You show his opposite, or you show a contrast to Peter Parker through Octavius's actions. So you kind of highlight Peter Parker even though he's not present in the Octavius storyline. Right. But there is a storyline where Peter Parker was a corporate exec, bouncing around in the world. I think he invented some kind of wrist device or something like that.
Yep.
And so he was a
Sloth's
corporate
next round.
CEO himself. And those are cool stories to explore. But like I said, in 60 years of history where you've got 2,000 or 3,000 stories with Spider-Man, it's okay to go off that beat and explore this kind of corporate Peter Parker. Here's what he could be, But for me, you always have to come back to the guy who's down on his luck, who doesn't have, unlimited resources.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
And that's where Spencer took that, because at the beginning of Spencer's run, when Dan Slott did his Goodbye, Red Goblin, blah, 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 there was Parker got, there was this new learning algorithm that was created for Empire State University. And it tagged him as a cheater. And then he had to redo his master's degree with Kirk Connors, who was living in the sewers as the lizard, turned his whole family into lizards, etc. And it brought it back in a great way. But now that I've shoved my foot in my mouth 7 times during this conversation, because here I am trying to explain that these are different, and here's Joe St. Pierre of all people telling me, yeah, you're wrong.
But
it's okay though. I love it.
Here's the other thing about Spidey for me is he goes against the Marvel corporate policy. When you have an icon like Spider-Man, a $1 billion property, and you're selling Marvel crossovers every 6 months, Spidey's got to be in the mix, right? But for me, Spider-Man is not that cosmic level. He's not the center of Marvel universe attention. He shouldn't be. He's should
street
be
level.
Yes, he's at street level, or maybe the next level up because of his powers. But the center of the Marvel universe is probably Reed Richards. And Fantastic Four comics just don't sell. So what are you going to do? Okay, you bring Spider-Man in, you come up with ways to make Peter Parker Spider-Man, or whoever Spider-Man is this month, to make him the centerpiece of your crossover. That's been happening a lot.
Yeah.
For me, Reed Richards, the Fantastic Four, they're the center of the Marvel universe. Everything kind of rotates around them. They interact with everything, cosmic level, street level. They're interwoven with all of the major Marvel universe storylines. But apparently the FF doesn't freaking sell comics. And I don't know why.
And it's funny because that was the whole reason Marvel took off in the first place. It
was Fantastic Four.
Yes.
It really resonated.
FF sold in the early 60s. In the Silver Age, they were a top seller.
Yeah.
Because they were friggin' fantastic books, and they were introducing a new concept, a new character. Every issue, they were interacting with the other members of the Marvel universe on the regular.
Yeah, Surfer and Galactus. Massive change to the Marvel universe right there.
Yeah.
I love Galactus. Just amazing. An Omega level being in general. But I guess that is, that's something that just kind of goes with the ebbs and flows of how things are going. So I think as much as we've all kind of said, hey, this could be different, that could be different. I think what we're getting to here is that, we really can't change what is, because like I said, I said it earlier, Disney is morally bankrupt. Looks like I just retconned my own point.
Well, I mean, the retcon thing isn't something that is unique to comics. You look at your mythology, and all mythologies are retconned to appeal to the cultures that they're coming with.
Very true.
The Romans retconned the Greek mythology for their society. So this is for me, it's a natural process, creative process, that you have to rejigger the stories so that they touch your audience today.
Right.
Yeah, true.
Happening. And for you to say this, I've been saying this isn't my Spider-Man for since issue 125, but I can still read the comics and enjoy them, but they're not the same experience that I had when I was 10 or 15 years old, saying I have to have every single Spider-Man comic book, right?
I'm sure you have a Spider-Man 1 sitting to your left too.
Spider-Man 1? Oh no, what do you think I am? Fucking Howard Hughes? Dude.
How do you not?
I'm assuming you mean Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, ASM 1. I'm not saying AF 15. I'm saying ASM 1.
No, of course not.
Do you at least have a reprint or a facsimile?
Oh yeah, I have every issue of
what?
Spidey from 125, but not in original form. I have the Masterworks, I've got the Essentials, I've got Marvel Tales, I got I've got a million different
But you
reprints.
have, yeah.
Despite
So
the
what a
stories.
Smalls, what a facsimile is when they reprint an issue with updated color, graphic design, and not on newspaper print like the originals.
They're doing
Also
that
a
a lot
remaster.
nowadays, right?
Yeah, they're trying to bring people back into the world. That's really what it is. It's folks trying to they're trying to get people interested in the older stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some interesting characters right now. Like Spider-Man India is really interesting, especially since the movie. Like, I dig the idea of Peter Parker in a foreign land and dealing with the same kind of issues. Here I am sticking my foot in my mouth again, asking for something new, and then getting the exact same storyline, but in India.
They actually
And
reprinted a Venom Wolverine issue
yeah,
in that
Tooth
kind
and
of
Claw.
facsimile. It
Well,
was called True Believers. Yeah.
yep, yep. Well,
Yep.
they did that when Stan Lee died because they needed to profit off of Stan's death. Oh my God.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yes.
I wish Stan was involved with that book that I worked on.
What's really sad? You saw a lot of people before he died just getting anything Marvel signed, stuff he didn't even work on. And that just always
Yeah.
broke my heart. Like, why is he signing Deadpool? Like, he had nothing to do with Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, I
Whatever.
think you signed mine, actually. I have an Amazing Spider-Man 700 signed by, like, everybody. You've seen it.
Mhm.
I think you're in, like, the bottom right corner right before Stan
Yeah,
and Paul Stoles. And then my Venom one you remarked, and then Clayton Crane almost signed over you. And I was like, don't you dare! So, all right, guys, we're
Good
going to go to our next break. We're going to be right back. We're going to be talking more Toy Fair. If Joe decides to stick around, we'll talk more Marvel, and we'll go from there. But stay tuned.
I guess I'll tune in. This will be posted on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, this
right?
is going to be up
Yeah.
Friday at 3.
I guess I'll tune in to Toy Fair tomorrow.
Absolutely. I can,
But,
well, the video on demand, I can send you the video on demand early. Don't worry about it.
Oh, sweet. That'll be
Yeah,
great.
that way you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, we're going to talk a lot of Toy Fair. For those of you here to listen to Toy Fair, it's finally time. I feel like Bert at the museum and that flip book that they made for Sesame Street in the 90s. Bert and Ernie visit the museum. Stick around. Say hello to Joe St. Pierre. Joe, where can these folks find you on social medias, and what's your next show?
Let's see. I would go to joestpierre.com, and all the social medias are there.
You
Next
heard the man.
show, I'm pretty sure I'm doing Rhode Island
Okay.
Comic-Con, and that might be my next one. Also, Northeast Comic-Con. That's on Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay,
Black
cool.
Friday. Very
be there.
cool. Yeah, do your shopping at a
Yeah,
convention.
doing my shopping at a
Do your,
convention. It'll be fun.
Christmas shopping. You'll end up buying everything for yourself.
Well, that I'm gonna do that this weekend at Boston Toy Fair. So when I go see Nick and Jerry, Kamikaze and Nick's Comic Strip are running a show this weekend. All toys. Not sure what
Okay.
your Sunday's looking like, but give me a call. Let me know.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're going to break. Make sure you follow Joe. Come see him at Rhode Island Comic Con. We'll be there Friday too, so come out and say hi to us. Joe will be in the vlog either way, but
Bye, Joe.
it's the brand
Thanks
show.
for having me. Appreciate it.
Anytime, Joe. Anytime. We'll be right back. Right, we're back. And well, it's just us. First and foremost, I just want to apologize ahead of time. My camera has been fucked, and I have flying ants for some reason. I have no idea what's going on tonight. It has been a hell of a week here at the Nichols compound, and well, it's just nice to be back. We discussed it earlier in the show. As you guys know, our next episode is going to be our last episode for just a short period of time. We have to rebook all of our guests from that were on strike during the Writers Guild. So there's going to be some changes to the show. Nothing big. It's going to take some time for us to get back into form. I apologize. We lost 3 episodes to the writer's strike. So once again, Bob Iger, sit on a red dragon, you fucking cuck. But since we have the opportunity now, Smalls, we did Toy Fair this past weekend.
We did.
And
It was a long weekend.
This was your first industry-only event, your first ever.
It was my first anything really in the toy field, other than just going to Nick's.
Beside, I'm gonna talk about a lot of things tonight, but I think one of the interesting things about this weekend was I think I made a collector out of you. I walked you into Super 7 and it was all
yes
over.
And no. Well, no, yeah, but I also don't have, a spare $9,000 laying around to buy the entire back wall of all the music figures.
I mean, that wouldn't cost you $9,000. It maybe cost you like $500-600.
Yeah, there were a couple in that music one, like the Run DMC and the Public Enemy ones and the Rock Hymns. Those were up there.
Oh, and you looked on eBay already?
No, I'm talking about what I saw at sticker price.
Yeah, probably. I mean, some of them were special editions and probably like a couple $100, depending. Some stuff that's one of those things like the Run DMC 3-pack that they did. It's not cheap because there was an exclusive, but they single carded all 3, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, so why don't you lead us off, and then I will go into a lot of what we saw as we go. And chat, feel free to chime in, be a part of this conversation. What you saw on the internet, what you saw for Toy Fair. We're gonna cover as much of it as we can.
Yes, I mean it was my time to get that stuck in my wrist. It was my first like toy convention industry event, anything really within this field that wasn't music.
It's okay. Yawn it out. It's your birthday.
And it was cool. I really enjoyed it. I didn't know really what to expect. I didn't know if it was gonna be like a Comic-Con or if it was gonna be just like a bunch of like straights in a bunch of suits. Just like, oh yes, this is interesting. But it was cool. There was every walk of life was there, and it was the conversations that we had with just random people and trying to get a picture with the turtles while we were there. And
man, Playmates fucking PR people were the biggest dicks.
We got gate kept by Donatello.
Yeah, like I get that you're going to a thing, but how hard is it to stop for like 8 seconds and go? So, Playmates, I love you, but fire your marketing people. They are bitchy and rude.
Great toys, but your PR team needs to be relinquished. Anyway,
a lot of gatekeeping. We weren't. I mean, not that we weren't able to see McFarlane. Shout out to Todd McFarlane for at least coming out and saying hello to me. For those of you who don't know, Todd has been very supportive behind the scenes of me during my cancer treatment. Very kind. He's donated money to the Colon Cancer Foundation, sent me some stuff during my treatment. Todd is a amazing human being. Anyway, we weren't able to see McFarlane because McFarlane was booked solid. We got gate-kept at Jazzwares because they weren't taking invitations through the app. Dumb, as usual. Mattel wasn't there. Hasbro had a press-only event, which is typical Hasbro.
Wait, wasn't Mattel like off-site or something?
No, Hasbro was off-site.
That's what it was. One of them was.
So Hasbro was off-site, but it was press-only. So this is Toy Fair. This is the biggest show of the year. You're coming to buy toys, and you're only doing something to show press. I get that you got new toys coming out and shit, but kind of seems dumb to leave your retailers out, because we were there as guests of a retailer. For those who don't know, we were there as a part of Nick's comic strip to photograph and to show, our side of Toy Fair. Let me pull up some photos here really quick since, I have that ability. I'm just going to pull up my Toy Fair. Let's see, where's my desktop? There it is. I'm just going to pull up Toy Fair here. I'm just going to run through this really quick and show you some of the photos I took from this event, because this event was really cool. So we started out the day, we saw Lego. Lego was really cool. It was great to see Lego. We saw a lot of their stuff. I can't skip through, but I wanted to show you something that really stood out to me. Since you guys are seeing this, this was my favorite reveal of the weekend, was finally seeing the Czarface Zarbot up close. And getting this wildly menacing photo. I had to edit out Jerry Only's guitar over here and some shit over here. You can kind of see where I left a line there, but that was cool. It was really cool to just see Toy Fair in general, but I think the biggest shock of the entire weekend for me were these guys. This is YOLO Park. I want to talk about YOLO Park for a minute.
Strap
here.
in, ladies and gentlemen, because this is about to be a 45-minute conversation about
So this is YOLO Park. YOLO Park does 3D model kits. Everything about the presentation that they gave us when we were there was absolutely phenomenal. Like, just, I couldn't believe, like, the design, like, looking at this Optimus Primal. And shout out to Yanni from YOLO Park for showing us everything.
Dude,
Really
he
cool
was the
stuff.
homie. He went in for us.
He was so accepting and kind of smaller creators and really willing to work with us. We're going to hopefully have him on Unboxcast when Unboxcast launches, but look at the detail on Optimus Primal here. Like, for real. Like,
It's insane. I don't know if I was allowed to, but I kind of, like, picked up the head.
Of course you weren't.
I didn't know if I wasn't allowed to, but when you two were talking about the Optimus Prime,
Yeah.
I went and picked up the head. That head is at least 1.5 pounds of metal.
Yeah, well, it's plastic.
It felt like metal.
Well, they could have used vac metal and it could have been heavy, but
Bro, that thing is it weighs like it felt like it weighed as much as a baseball.
I don't know how much this thing actually goes for. On their thing it said 2,100. I don't know if that was yen. Because I looked it up on Amazon later and it was like $150.
There's no way that's $150 unless it's 3D printed. There's no way that's $150.
Let's pull up YOLO Park on Amazon and talk more about this because, guys, if you're a Transformers fan, this is a line you want to check out. They make some cool shit. Like, really.
They really do.
And I'm not really a Transformers fan, and I'll tell you that right now. So how tall was that thing, by the way? 20 centimeters, I think it said?
The Primal or
Yeah.
the Optimus Prime?
Primal.
I'd say at least a solid 2 feet.
Okay, this one is 62 centimeters. Okay, so probably about 2 feet. So great pricing here. The model kits. We saw this one too. The Earth Mode Optimus Prime, $199. Optimus Primal. This one is 8 inches tall, $36 with 1-day shipping. That's their new Bumblebee. That's really cool too.
Yeah, the one we saw is definitely higher than 8 inches. So that's a solid 2.5 foot figure.
I gotta find it, but you know they do. Unfortunately, their stuff isn't really coming up here. Let me just pull up their website.
Yeah, because there's no way that's $150
I don't know, man. And it just blocked me.
for that quality though, where it's made out of like what it appears to be like die-cast metal. And the fact that there's working LEDs in it and like the Optimus Prime chest like opens up, that's not something you're gonna get on
a regular figure like the Super 7 Ultimates. Yeah. Super 7s do that, but
I love NECA, but you ain't getting that through NECA.
Okay, I can't get their website for whatever reason. My web browser keeps blocking it. But guys, take a look at YOLO Park. We're going to be doing some work with them. They're supposed to be sending us samples. That's going to be fun. So we'll probably do a couple episodes of Unboxed on that. Another thing that I think was really tremendous from Toy Fair this past weekend, and I just need to show it, and this was my toy of show. I know some people are going to disagree with me.
Boosh ball wall.
The Koosh Ball wall was 1,000% amazing, but that was not it.
The 7 foot tall Squishmallow.
No, I think this was my favorite thing right here from the weekend, and that was
the van.
Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
The Jack Kirby figure from NECA Toys from Donatello issue 1. Finally, a figure of the King. Not who I really wanted to put out a figure of the King, Jack Kirby, but really just excited to finally have a Jack Kirby figure. I think the one thing missing from this figure is a cigar, but his name in the comic books is Kirby. We all know it's Jack Kirby, which I was very excited about. But I think that was one of my favorite pieces, besides this too. Also this, Slam Dunk and Dawn from this is amazing. This figure, so they based it on the second release, Slam Dunk and Dawn, with the white jersey, which is very rare, a grail to many Ninja Turtle collectors. And one of those things where it's cool, it's amazing, it's fun. The bow staff is integrated into the actual base, which is cool. He's got pumps on, et cetera, et cetera. I think this is my other favorite thing.
This looks like a 3D fan fiction of NBA Jam.
Yeah. Well, it was a figure in the 90s. I mean, I would have to go get it, and I'm not standing up right now because this episode's almost over, so they can wait and see it in my collection. But I think that was cool, too. But I think the thing that really surprised me the most that hadn't been announced yet was Trick or Treat Studios. Trick or Treat Studios, unfortunately, first of all, I want to say fuck you to everybody who got in my way while I was filming in that booth. Literally, people walked in front of me while I was filming, and I've never felt so disrespected in my life. You can't say excuse me and wait like 10 seconds for me to finish my filming. No, you just there goes my shot. Fuck you, all of you. You're rude and disrespectful. Be nice. Anyway, but Trick or Treat Studios had Mayor Grody from Toxic Crusaders, which Lloyd, if you remember when we had Lloyd Kaufman on, he kind of alluded to there was more than just Toxie.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
because there was the Halloween one behind you.
Yep. They showed new premium Halloween figures. They showed Guar figures, new Halloween 3 masks. But the big surprise for me this weekend was Mayor Grody and Yvonne, who were from Wave 2 of Toxic Crusaders. So we're finally getting Wave 2 of Toxic Crusaders. They're a little bit bigger. Someone had to strong arm me in a chat to tell me that a 4-inch figure is not the same scale as a 5-inch figure. Yes, it is. But kind of the same idea, a little bit of an update on the actual designs and so forth like that. So I was really impressed with Trick or Treat Studios. Not that they've ever done anything bad. I just think it's wild to see that they're finally breaking into figures.
What was the company that had, because before we went up to try to go get into Jazzwares, what was the company that made those big vinyl astronaut things?
Shit, that was Toy Tokyo.
That was because I didn't see a name anywhere. It was just this box of astronaut figures.
No, that's Toy Tokyo. I edited a couple pictures of that, so I'll show you. But yeah, those were cool. Just to show you what Smallz is talking about.
What were those made out of?
I think those are vinyl. I think those are sooooo vinyl.
That's what I figured, but there were chrome ones in the back, and I didn't know if those were like metal.
I think those are vac metal. If vac metal is a chroming of plastic. Really cool though, nonetheless.
Because you can see in the corner of this Batman one here that's on screen, there's a chrome Mickey Mouse in the back.
Yeah, right there, and then the Steamboat Willie style Mickey with the blue.
Yep. And then directly behind the Batman, there's a not astronaut style, but the same like vinyl material of like I would think a to scale Lilo and Stitch.
Mm-hmm. I did
like
see that
as like a centerpiece. That was really, really cool.
Also, we didn't get to see everything because of time. We were only there Saturday. We were in and out
6 hours, and that was it.
Yeah, I think this might be my favorite picture of the weekend. Shark Puppet made a debut on Smallz' hand. That was funny. Yeah. Ah! So that was fun, but
the bringing back of old school toys was honestly my favorite part.
Well, yeah,
like
Spirograph's
the
making
wall crawlers.
Yeah,
Spirograph never went away. Hattie loves her Spirograph.
Yeah, but like Spirograph is popular again, and there's just so much stuff that's new and awesome.
Those little gel cube things that were there, like the stress balls, but it was just like a I don't even know what it was.
A donut.
No, there was the donut one, yes, but there was also one. It just looked like a cube, and you went to go pick it up, and it just became like oobleck, but it was still solid.
Oh, I missed that, dude.
It was wild. It felt like I don't even know. It just felt bizarre, and I was like, "This is cool. I want this."
That's
like
pretty
the
dope.
Puppets and the Slinkies and the Woolly Willies and the grown man big wheel that's coming out.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much old school stuff that came back. The wall crawlers, Slinky, like it was
candy companies were there, everything.
It was very, very cool. Like Koosh.
Yeah, Koosh is back. Yep, Tamagotchi's back.
It was so cool to just see
also
you and I
Zombie
grew
parts.
up playing with
Yeah.
being a new. You sent me this earlier.
Thanks to Nick,
And
Zombie Parts Candy is
I-
back. But look at how good the editing is on this photo. Like, look at how great I took
I
out all that.
I didn't even realize what he was looking at. I forgot we saw those in the beginning of the day.
Yeah, they did temporary tattoos and all that stuff and candy and like.
And that
Listen.
the light, the sour thing, the making
Yeah.
of sour candy.
Yeah, that was cool too. I just think there was a lot of upside to Toy Fair, and unfortunately, we need another day next time. The next one, unfortunately, I did find out today, and this was first reported to me by Stevie Oakes. The last Toy Fair in New York City is going to be March 1st to the 4th, 2025, and then from there, 2026, it is moving to New Orleans, which I'm down for a trip to New Orleans. I don't know about you.
I've never been. I'd love to go get it. I'd love to go
Get
down
some
there.
beignets and fucking.
I would go down there. Toy Fair would be a side thing. I'd go down there for the food and drink.
Yeah, that's what wife and I were talking about too. We were thinking the same thing. Go to the show, do that. You know, same thing, all in one. But you know, Toy Fair was an incredible experience. Vlog should be done by midweek, hopefully, of next week, and up by the end of the week. I'm at Boston Toy Show this weekend too, which is going to be fun. So if you see me, come up to me, say hello. I might forget you. I apologize if I don't remember your face. Just remind me who you are with your screen name or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of a wrap on Toy Fair. We had fun.
It was a blast. I'm very much looking forward. Hattie's ecstatic about not this upcoming Sunday, but next Sunday, because we're going to be right back at the Jarvis Center.
The Jarvis Center? I thought we were
Or
going
what-
to the Javits Center.
You knew what I meant. Don't be a dick.
Well, these donuts don't know what you meant. If anybody's still watching us.
We're gonna be back at the wherever it is, the big glass hut. For New York City Comic Con for Sunday.
Put it on screen.
God damn
Well-
it, he gets at work at the end of the episode.
Jarvis just called you. He wants to talk about you misnaming his building, you jerk.
That's fine. I've pissed off worse.
Yes, you have. All right. Well, that's a wrap on tonight's episode of The Brand Show, I guess, because there really isn't much else to talk about with Toy Fair. Like, what we saw is what we saw.
Yeah.
We also want you to watch the vlog. So youtube.com/abunchofnerds. Go follow. I apologize. This episode wasn't technically perfect. We've been having...
Dude, there's
Bug
never not an
issues.
issue. There's
No.
never not an issue.
But it's been tough, and I want to apologize for the episodes that we lost due to the writer's strike once again. I feel personally responsible that I wasn't able to deliver what I promised, so I do apologize for that. So keep an eye on social media. Our next guest is supposed to be Mike Kingston. I'm going to confirm that episode in the next few days just to make sure. It might be moved. Also, we had Steve Varner for November 1st, but that is definitely being moved. I already know that. So we're going to work on bringing in some new guests. So technically, I guess next episode is our mid-season hiatus. We're not going to be gone as long as we were last time. We're not going to be gone 6 months. This time it's probably going to be a month and a half. I have to get through surgery in December. I have to have my nose broken because I have an 85% blockage on this side due to an injury when I was a kid. Fuck you, Cole. I know you're watching. Anyway, but that needs to be fixed. That is important for my breathing and just something that's long overdue and needs to be fixed. So I'm going to be out of commission till at least January. So we're looking at potentially bringing in one more episode, 2 more episodes before the holidays. So you're going to see the unboxed holiday special before that happens. So that's probably going to happen the week of Black Friday, probably the night before Thanksgiving, potentially, for those of you who don't go out and drink. That'll be a fun one. You know, buying for the nerd in your life. That'll be a good episode. That'll be me, Joe, and maybe Smallz and John Brown. That'll be a good one.
Possibly.
And then after that, it'll probably be, we'll see at the beginning of the year. Probably sometime in January, we'll be back. But, you know, this season has been very difficult. And I know we promised you 4 more episodes. With the now SAG strike happening, that could be difficult. So we're going to kind of play it by ear, see exactly what we can do to help out and make sure that we get things back up and running and that we're able to bring you guys the best guests and be the flagship podcast of a bunch of nerds. That may take a little longer than we expect. We are not retiring. We're not done. We're not canceling. We're not breaking up or anything like that. It's just we're dealing with uncertain times with guests. So if you have a friend who's an influencer or an independent artist, someone who needs an outlet looking to, drive their business, drive their show, wants to have an interesting conversation, slide them in my DMs or just email billytbsl@gmail.com. That's not something that I regularly put out there, but with my new role within a bunch of nerds, you're going to be seeing more of me on long form vlogs. You're going to be seeing less of me on TikTok, which I'm not going to lie, I'm actually kind of excited about because the amount of exhaustion that comes with trying to stay up on a 7-day content schedule can be very difficult when you're me. But you'll be seeing Joe and John Brown very soon, which is going to be exciting. FOMO Joe and John Brown. That's actually his nickname is John Brown. His real name is John. We just call him John Brown because he's John Brown. Or Napmaster White or Master Splinter.
Don't bring the group chat into this, dude.
But
Master White. That is the worst rap name of all time.
yeah, I mean it is, but it works. It's John Brown, so that's what makes John Brown so special at being John Brown. But I want to thank you guys for your support over these last 2 years of the show. It really means the world to us. I know there's been some ebbs and flows, and that's any podcast as you grow and you build and you start to move things around and make things happen. I know I shouldn't feel personally responsible for these things because a lot of this is out of my grasp, unfortunately, but I do because I want to bring you guys the best content I can every Wednesday night that I can. So with that being said, go grab your Man-Thing figure, go play with some action figures, and don't forget to let them breath because everybody forgets how to spell breathe on the internet. My name is Billy Nichols. You can call me the Brand. You can call me Quicksilver. Don't call me late to lunch. I am your Generalissimo and the Larry Bird of action figure collecting.
And my name is Chris Small, the Grespa.
The Graspa.
My name is Chris Small, the best dad on the internet, because I left from smoking cigarettes and I came back, and I am a self-diagnosed vinyl nerd.
And if you are around
y'all.
this weekend, come hang out with us over at Boston Toy Con, sponsored by Kamikaze and Nick's Comic Strip. Hold on, I'm going to do that once again because I want to make sure that Nick actually hears this. So I'm just going to put my camera up here. Hi, Nick. I'm recording this live, just so you know we're on the air. So, guys, if you're around this weekend, make sure Sunday, October 8th, head on over to Boston Toy Con at the Somerville Armory, sponsored by Nick's Comic Strip and Kamikaze, two great toy stores here in Massachusetts that you should definitely visit. Come buy some toys, free admission, bring the kids, 10 to 4. It's going to be a blast. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Brand Show, and we will see you in the next one.
Peace.